And we're live. We're live?
Yep.
Welcome everybody to August Asia edition of the Coffee Club, the final event of the month. It's our live cupping, and I can't wait to have everybody here so we can get going, sipping 4 fantastic coffees from 4 different origins in Asia, from 4 different roasters from Europe, as that's how we structure this. Every month we have 4 different roasters from Europe represented in our very exciting taster set and coffee club. It isn't just a taster set, there is a whole bag plan. Hopefully we've got people joining us with their whole bag plans as well. Even if you only have 1, 2, 3 or all 4 coffees, you're welcome to join. This isn't some sort of exclusive membership, it's just that being a member of the coffee club and having these coffees means you can sip along at the same time as us with the same coffees. It's all about exchanging ideas, saying, I taste this, what do you taste? Oh, you're tasting that, really? Then I taste it and go, yes, I can taste that as well. And I've exercised my taste buds and my mind, and I've brought the community slightly closer together through coffee. So isn't this a super exciting event today? Can you hear the Asian music, by the way? Because we've got it going through the system, but I don't know if it plays clearly enough. So if you can just give me comments on here to say, yes, I can hear the Asian music clearly, or no, I don't hear it at all. Then I'll know if it's working through our system of playing the music in the background. So just tell me if you can hear that lovely Asian music. I need feedback. You can hear?
Yeah.
Nice, thank you Natalie Watts. Excellent. So guys, get your coffees ready. What I want to do is do a very brief explanation, and then I want to get grinding and want to sort of get to the point where we're waiting. You know, there's that 10-minute wait where the coffee just has to kind of steep. And I'll explain more, and we'll talk more about the coffees and reflect in that 10-minute time. I usually do a lot of talking beforehand, but I think we should just get going. So to explain briefly about what you do at a cupping, if you're new to this, just know that you need 4 cups, doesn't matter what size. You're going to grind them all the same size, which is a sort of medium fine grind, finer than medium, but not fine grind. You really want to open up the flavors in this coffee because you're not going to use any paper filtering or anything like that. So you're just going to grind 4 times in 4 cups, and you're going to pour the same amount of water in each, and that's it. Then you're just going to leave it. Then after about, tell me the time that you wait. The first, is it 4 minutes? And then 10 minutes?
Yep.
Right, so you wait 4 minutes, then you scoop out the coffee, and you put it, discard the coffee from the edges. I go through this every month. I'm trying to make it a shorter version this time, just so we can get to the next stage. But just know that you're going to pour the water in and wait for 4 minutes. Then you're going to scoop out the surface, or you're going to break the surface and smell it. So we do aroma at that stage. Then you're going to leave it for another 10 minutes. Then we're going to drink it. Okay? So if you're not sure of the exact details of how you do this cupping, please let me know in the comments, because I don't want to spend too much time explaining cupping to a room full of people who know how to do the cupping. So if you're not clear, shout out now. Say, I'm not clear and I'd like more instructions on the cupping. But otherwise, I think I should just move ahead. I want those people who are going to be grinding, I mean everybody's going to be grinding. Those who have hand grinders, get grinding now. I'll wait. I've got a machine grinder. This thing is going to take just very short time. So if you're hand grinding and you've got 4, get grinding, because I'll wait, and then we'll all be pouring at the same time, hopefully. So the right setting for grinding is, we think, between 22 and 24 clicks on the Comandante, or if people have other grinders, please share what number you're using on your grinder other than the Comandante. I think it's 22 to 24. 22 might be better actually, because it's finer, slightly finer. Like I said, because you're not using filter paper, if you grind too coarse, you're just going to have, you're not going to open the coffee up enough. You really want to shine a bright light onto all the little corners, all the nooks and crannies of this coffee. What does it have hidden? That's why you want to brew at a super high temperature. So boil the water, grind the coffee quite fine, but not fine, just sort of medium fine. 22 to 23 on the Comandante. I would say you're looking at about 600 to 700 microns. So that's medium fine. And it has 3 settings on medium fine. It has 500, 600, 700 microns I'd say between 600 and 700, something like that. Are we getting any comments from people suggesting what they use, Baratza or Ode or something like that? Ode, you see, which I have here, tells me that cupping is between the number 2 and 3. So I tend to go halfway between the two, and it's going to be very quick. So grind, guys, if you've got your hand grinders, and when I'll grind in a sec as well. So
do you announce?
Right. Yeah, and I should make a very important announcement. We're going to do a random giveaway at the end of this event today. I'm going to give one of you, not sure how, but I think it will be based on the level of excitement that we generate here, and we'll see what insight you guys bring. But to the person who brings particularly fascinating insight today, we're going to reward you with this bag, this Lot 61 bag. So we'll send this out with the next edition to one lucky random winner today, who we believe is making a wonderful or original or entertaining contribution to today's event. That can be via a fascinating insight into the coffee, flavor note, or just some kind of positive contribution today, guys.
Tasting cards is important.
Oh, it's very important. Aiko's reminding me that to win, you have to upload your tasting card at the end. So hopefully, when all of you today have uploaded your tasting cards, we'll know, this person that uploaded their tasting card also made that particular contribution today, either live or on the card, that we believe awards them the Lot 61 tote bag. Look what a cool bag it is. I'm going to fashion it just so you can see. There we go. Right, it's a great shoulder bag, and it's got nice snap buttons and a really cool kind of thing inside there with a more Lot 61 logo type things. I'm not sure what these pink X's are, but they're very cool.
It's in a pocket.
Yeah, it's like a pocket inside. Yeah, so you get very cool kind of canvasy bag. I love it. And yeah, one of you is going to win this today. So
Natalie is using Baratza as usual. And
brilliant.
her setting is 20.
20. Thank you, Natalie. This is why we like to share these things. So some of you might have a Baratza and are not sure of the setting. So you're helping others. Brilliant.
And Morgan is using...
Morgan? What?
Can you see this?
Nope. A Zespresso JX Pro. My God, Morgan, what is a Zespresso? Anyway, I didn't think you had your coffee yet, Morgan. So that's good to know that hopefully you've actually got the coffees. Maybe you're cupping with something else. But hopefully you do have it. I think I should get grinding, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to get grinding. So hopefully those who've been hand grinding are ready. Machine grinders, get grinding now. So let's see. Number 1 is Lot 61. And remember, the dry aroma is to be enjoyed as well. So it's not something you need to write down. It can contribute to the aroma, but the dry aroma does matter. I'll heat the kettle as well. I'm going to take it off the table. Okay, that's number 1.
I found number 1 coffee only quite big beans. And
Yeah.
others were very small.
Yeah, they're all little beans, except for Lot 61. Interesting that. Even though there are 2 here from Indonesia, it's the other 3, the China, Indonesia, and Thailand that have small beans. And one of the Netherlands, the one from Sulawesi, much bigger beans. And the dry aroma for Lot 61 is really, really nice. It's so sophisticated. Very gentle smell, that one. Okay. Just going to make sure all the grounds are out. Okay, and now the next one. So this is China, common coffee roasters. Okay. This ode is fast, I have to say, really fast. So that's why I'm going to let you hand grinding people start ahead of this. It's important that we get the timing right for everybody. Ooh, very different aroma. Really enjoying the difference already, straight away, between Lot 61 and common. You've got this ever so gentle smell from Lot 61, and then this almost kind of farm fresh, pungent smell from common. Interesting that, right?
Morgan says, don't have coffee but enjoy hanging out and seeing the cupping process nonetheless.
Oh, Morgan, this really, I mean, I really recommend that you upgrade your shipping to express. People who are getting the coffees in America and Far East and places like that, even Australia, we have urged you guys to get the express upgrade because the coffees seem to arrive really fast with express, really fast. I mean, it takes just as long to go to the UK as it would to America on express. So I highly recommend that. It's only a couple of pounds more. What's the difference really? You're paying £1-2 more and you're going to get it 2 weeks faster. So huge plea to those who want their coffee fast. Get the express. You might as well. It's just the most sure way to get your coffees each month on time.
We're going to introduce that in a few days.
Yes, we will be. It's not available yet for US customers. Oh, I do apologize. It's not available yet for US customers, but we will be introducing that. So, number 3, slow move. Here we go. Sorry. Just make sure there's no coffee in there. Right. Do make sure, if you have a machine grinder, that there's no beans or coffee grounds left from the previous one. Cross-contamination can happen. Okay. Now, slow moves. This is the second Indonesia. This one is from East Timor.
Java.
Sorry, not from East Timor. East Java. I'm really sorry. Wow. And there it is, that lovely kind of sort of sweet smell and floral. This is such a kind of double header, this coffee. It's got 2 things going on at once. We'll talk more about that when we brew it. Really excited about that one as well.
Black Honey Girl is enjoying the music.
Black Honey Girl's enjoying it. You can hear it. Excellent, guys. So, all part of the Asia experience, right?
Natalie says dry smell number 3 is so chocolatey.
Isn't it? It's kind of a sweet dessert chocolate though, isn't it? Many kinds of chocolate. So, once you identify something that you're smelling or tasting, and it's a basic smell or taste, try to ask yourself, is there a more specific version of that flavor note? So chocolate has so many varieties. Orange has so many varieties. Every particular note you can then go into another subcategory for. And we're not always looking for those extreme, unusual flavors, but just always ask yourself, can I push this a little bit further? So Naga, now Thailand. Very interesting, this one. And we know we have in our community somebody from Thailand who's living in the UK. Nat Barista, he's called on Instagram. And I can't believe how excited he got when this coffee came out. You could see his real Thailand pride come out. And it was really just fascinating to see just how proud he is of his Thai roots. And to see that a Thai coffee is being represented on the specialty coffee scene was all a bit too much for Nat, and that was quite funny to see. Right, very subtle aroma. I'm really surprised by this one, but the dry aroma is the most subtle on number 4, isn't it? It's just this kind of mild, earthy, sweet cocoa, I think. Maybe not cocoa. It's very interesting though. It's very subtle. Right, so I've already got a sense of which aromas are strong and subtle, but I will save scoring that until I pour the coffee. So it is time. The water's ready. Is everyone ready? If anyone is not ready, on the comments, just say I'm still grinding. Just say grinding if you're still grinding, and I'll wait. If I don't hear anybody say grinding, I'm going to start pouring. Timing matters. So here we go.
It delays on YouTube, so you have to wait a bit.
Okay, I'll wait for people to reply. If I don't hear anything in 10 seconds, I'm going to start pouring. So get ready, everybody. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start the pour. Now, roughly 200 I'm going to do, which means I'm only going to pour up, because these are cupping bowls, basically. I know that a full cup is roughly 200 ml of water. Just make sure that you're pouring the same amount of water in each, and that you don't run out of water in your kettle before pouring all 4.
Philip said grinding.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Philip, I'm sorry. Hurry and catch us up, Philip. I'll be slow. I'll be slow.
You can't be slow. The time is running.
Okay, I'm really sorry, Philip. Okay, that's it. Now that's all four. It's that easy. There's no paper filtering. There's no stirring. There's no Scott Rouse spin. There's nothing. There's just pour, wait. Then in 4 minutes, we're going to get 2 spoons. We're going to break the crust. That's a really important part, right? The crust is trapping a lot of the aroma. So as it's brewing now, when you get your spoon and for the first time in a few minutes, break that crust. At that first moment the spoon goes in, I recommend you, that's the part you want to smell, as it cracks open and releases the aroma. Doesn't always form a crust, I know, that's quite annoying. But if it does, that's your moment to get a good whiff of the coffee and get a sense of the aroma's strength or subtlety. So yeah, that would be the moment I think to mark down the aroma. You could do it now. I don't think it changes in terms of its strength too much. It's just that you'll get a better sense of it. Yeah, in a few minutes time. Then once we've broken the crust, we're going to scoop out the coffee grounds that have stayed on the surface. You're going to push it. You're not just going to crack it. Push it backwards and forwards. That kind of stirring action or brushing action, it both releases the aroma, but also lets a lot of the coffee just settle down to the bottom. You're not going to get it all out. A lot of it is just going to sit at the bottom. The idea though is that when you're ready to taste, there'll just be liquid at the top and solid coffee at the bottom. And that's why you're going to scoop out the rest as well. Sorry. So break, let a lot of it sink. Then with 2 spoons, go round the edges, scoop it out, dip it in 1 cup, clean it in the other cup, go again 4 times, and then wait 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, that's where we can reflect on this month's experiences with these 4 coffees before then diving into tasting them. And that's where the exercise begins. That's where you're doing the push-ups. You're really exercising your taste buds by sipping 4 coffees together side by side like this. And if you ever go to a proper cupping event at a coffee shop, you might be lucky enough to try 8 coffees or 10 coffees, 15 coffees at once. But just know that drinking or sipping more than 1 coffee at once is exercise. If you just sit and brew a nice cup of coffee at home, first sip of the day, all that kind of thing, that's a great experience, but it's not mental agility. It's not exercise, because you're just drinking 1 coffee and you're kind of in a more, not hedonistic experience, but your brain is in pleasure mode. So you're savoring and tasting and you're not really taking notes, you're not analyzing too much. This is the moment where you put on your more analytical brain and you don't have to taste this from a pleasure point of view. Yes, it can give you pleasure, but even the unpleasantness in the coffee, if you were to experience any unpleasantness, is a plus when you're here right now in this analytical mode. This is the time to go analysis. Where's my flavor wheel? I do need my flavor wheel. So time for this.
I think the aim for today is to finding out what kind of flavor notes we can find in Asia origin.
That's right. This is the extra layer that we bring to the coffee club experience. I'll talk more about that in a sec. That's the 4-minute counter. So that timer now means it's time for the aroma stage of the cupping, which means we're going to break the crust, we're going to smell it, mark down how strong or subtle the aroma is. Again, not an indicator whether this coffee is good or bad, just is it subtle or strong. Okay, here we go. Coffee number 1, lot 61. Yeah, nice, interesting. Okay, so I'll now scoop out and dip. Don't really need to clean the spoon in the other one yet because I'm still on coffee number 1. Just want to get rid of all that foamy bits. I'm not great at this, but you don't have to be a genius to just remove most of this stuff. Right. And then dip now in the other one. Oh, and 1 spoon. Oh, wait. I'm going to put my mark down for aroma. I'll give away the first one. Don't copy me, go your own way. But the first one I think is quite subtle. So I'm going way down on the marker towards the subtle end. That's just me. Now I could change it. As I sniff the next one, I could change my mind and go back. So keep jumping around.
This process has to go through quite quickly
Okay.
to get the timing right.
That's true. So I better not talk. I'm just going to do this now. Good luck, guys. Scoop. Scoop again. And try to remember what you're smelling and then mark it down afterwards. I remember number 2 now, and I'll compare. So it's probably a good idea not to write down too much. Ooh, number 3, huh? That smell is unbelievable. I love number 3. Okay. Dipping. Dipping. Cleaning. Remembering. So I'll write down afterwards. Okay. Lovely. Number 4. Okay. Very interesting, right? We started to get a sense of Asian coffees today. Okay. Right. Okay. And there we have it. Thanks, Psycho. All right. That's it. Now, I'm not going to put my spoon in and sip any of this. I'm just going to now write down my aromas. Let's write down. Oh yeah. Wow. Okay. So that's it, really. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I think the 1, 3, and 4 quite similar in strength of aroma, slightly different. It's number 3 for me. That's the more pungent one. So we've got 6 minutes. Thank you, Aiko. Right. So what was I talking about before? Asian. I was saying that we are going to reflect. Oh yes, on what makes Asian origins different to other origins. We have here. It's an opportunity. That's what this is with these 4 coffees. This is your opportunity to really reflect on all the coffees you've had in your life, and right now in front of you, what does Asia bring to the table that's different? Now, obviously, a lot of what you taste here, you're going to taste in other coffees from other origins. But are there commonalities between them, the 4 coffees in front of you, and with Asian origins in general? I think there is, and we can talk about some of that, but I just can't wait to discover some of these overlaps and similarities today. So,
Pietro says number 3 is muscat grape smell.
Muscat grape? Really? Yeah, I mean, number 3 in the aroma almost reminds me of Kawa. Do you remember last month in Tropicana edition we had Kawa coffee roasters? They're from France, and their coffees are always wild and boozy smelling and tasting often. This one really reminds me of that. But I have to say, because this is slow mov, you're going to expect much more delicate flavors. So it has been a much more slow mov experience in taste. It's just right now the aroma has got this wildness that's really interesting.
Natalie loves the smell of number 3 as well.
Yeah. It's a really, really wild and crazy one. And doesn't it remind you of some of those crazy processed coffees that you can get from Kawa and people like that? Usually sort of, I don't know, anaerobic fermentations of 7 days without oxygen in weird fermenting bags. That's often what creates this pungent smell. Not sure how long this was an anaerobic processed coffee. We did speak with Cube coffee with Cube green coffee importers. They're based in Berlin, and Luthvan, he spoke with us last week. We had an event every day, if you remember. It was an amazing week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We had something every day to do with the 4 coffees. And then yesterday we did our Zoom workshop, and we end today with today's cupping. Now, having this kind of solid week of events isn't something we'll do every month, but it seemed to work out well this month. It was a great build-up to this kind of finale.
Pietro says, yes, Kawa quite similar, both anaerobic.
Right. So it's reminding you of Kawa as well. Excellent.
It's
But
anaerobic.
But the taste, I think, is where this is more slow mov. If you don't know about slow mov, check out the videos we've made because we've known slow mov for a long, long time. We met them years ago when we first went to Barcelona in 2014, I believe, and fell in love with their herbal, delicious coffees. Very sort of, they love herb flavors in slow mov coffees. So I think this one attracted them because of those herbal notes, but probably surprised them and everybody with these other tastes of tiramisu they described. Now, you guys might be tempted to write down tiramisu as a flavor note today, but I'm hoping that you'll break it down and find your own taste notes. Because tiramisu, what if you've never had tiramisu before? You could say that the taste of tiramisu is a combination of caramel, touch of booziness, or some other thing, some other components. So I want you to try today to go somewhere else than other than where the roaster has gone with their flavor notes. If they've arrived at something like tiramisu, I'm hoping you will arrive at something different.
Natalie is smelling wild strawberries. And,
Wild strawberries.
Jonathan is lychee set.
Lychee I like. I think wild strawberries I'm not so sure. I mean, wild something. But if you think about it, I'm not sure. Wild strawberry to me tastes milder than a regular strawberry. Like regular strawberries, very sweet, strong smell. Wild strawberry I normally associate as these kind of more acidic and subtler, a sort of less sweet because it's not so farmed, the wild strawberries. So my association with a wild strawberry, I believe, I'm not sure, is slightly different to yours, Natalie. But yeah, pungent lychees and streaks of just sharp fruit. Yes.
So we have 1 minute.
We have 1 minute left.
Let's go through the tasting card.
Ah, yes, the tasting card. To briefly go through it with you is I want to write down flavor notes, but at the same time I've got to go through mouthfeel, acidity, body, and finish quite fast. So these coffees' temperatures are going down all the time. So if I spend too long on one coffee, I'm failing to do the exercise part of this. The exercise part is and then maybe back to number one. And that speed of going 1, then 2, then 3 is the exercise because you're comparing, and comparative analysis makes you see things more clear. To bring things into focus, i.e. brain, taste buds, understanding, to create that loop in your mind better, you need to do the comparative analysis because one thing on its own doesn't have comparison. What is light without shadow? For we must compare one to the other, right? Okay, 17 seconds, we're nearly there. Get your spoons ready.
So we are going to go through those elements very quickly, and then we go into the flavor notes. So once we get that,
Exactly.
we want people to share.
Thank you, Aiko. Yes, we will do the flavor notes and we want to share those flavor notes, but we'll get through this first part quickly. So there's the time. Get your spoons ready. Have I got a glass of water ready? That's important as well, cleaning your mouth. So don't sip the water that you're cleaning your spoons with. That's also important. That's why I like to keep one glass, this very big glass for sipping water, and this smaller glass to clean my spoons so I don't get the wrong water in my mouth. Okay, here we go. Coffee number 1. So mouthfeel, I've got to go all through, all 4. Okay, 2. Interesting. Okay, number 3. Unexpected. Okay, I'll give away something. Number 3 is cloudier than number 2 and number 1. In my opinion, unexpected. You see, clean or cloudy does not denote whether you like a coffee more or less. I find number 3 to be incredibly tasty, but cloudier than number 2 and number 1. Go figure. Okay. Does everyone agree with me on that? Number 4. Very interesting. Okay.
I think number 3 is pretty clean.
No, I find number 3 cloudier than number 2 and number 1. It is clean, so like I said, if I just drink number 3 on its own and I didn't have the others, I'd say, wow, this is such a clean coffee. But because I'm comparing, I can understand exactly how clean it is. Okay. Acidity. How much acidity? Again, compare. Acidity is a hard one because I think all 4 of these coffees are exhibiting maybe Asian origin commonalities here with their acidity.
I agree. Very similar acidity.
Isn't it? Now that your brain just focuses on acidity, you can hardly tell the difference between these coffees. I feel like they're the same coffee because I'm really like just switching my mind off to anything else other than the acidity in that moment. And I find that really fascinating, that they're all quite similar coffees suddenly. And the moment I go into looking at the coffees in a different way, they'll become quite different to each other. How weird is that? Okay.
Anne said, will this session be available after the fact?
Oh, definitely, definitely. We're on YouTube, so don't worry. Once the event is over, it then goes onto our wall. You'll find the video there. You can follow it and pause it, take your time, and then you're having a cupping experience at your leisure as well.
Philip says number 3 in clean, like pink.
Right. I don't agree. I think it's not cloudy. It's very clean, but it's the cloudier of the 4 coffees, in my opinion. Please shout out, you guys. 1, 2, 3, or 4 is your opinion on the most cloudy. I'm saying number 3 is the most cloudy. Okay. I bet most people will say Naga, which I don't agree. Okay.
Temperature is already going down, so
It's not that it's cloudy. It's more buttery. It's got a bit more of a fullness. I've got to let go of this mouthfeel thing. Okay. Acidity. Acidity is really hard. Body. Okay, body. I'm curious, how many of you sip and swallow the coffee, and others, how many of you do you spit it in the little spit cup? Because I coat spit cups and I'm just drinking the coffee. Maybe because this is my second coffee of the day, but sometimes I regret it, I have to admit. At the end of a big cupping session, I feel like I've just had too much coffee. So do get the cup ready to just spit out if you're having too much. Okay. Interesting, interesting. Okay. What are people saying for which one they think is the most cloudy? Interesting.
Number 1 for Philip.
Philip thinks number 1 is the most cloudy. Interesting. Okay.
Natalie says most acidic, number 1 as well.
Wow, Natalie, interesting. Okay, so we've got here body-wise, again, a bit tricky to see real differences. They're quite similar in the body. Does everyone agree?
Pietro says number 3, sparkling.
Yeah, that lychees. It really is about lychees. Reminds me of whoever was with us in the coffee club from the beginning. They'll remember this. White Star coffee roasters. Do you remember? In the very first edition we did a year ago, we put a great coffee in by White Star. Where was it from? Do you remember? I think it was it Colombia? I don't remember, but it had this beautiful lychee experience, and I'm getting that now, much more so than when I filtered it. When I brew this coffee properly, I get more of that tiramisu carameliness. Today, right here, very lychee, very strange. Okay, and now the finish. So clean your palates, guys. The finish. Here we go. I remember actually, so I think this one. Okay. Ooh, don't dip it in there. Okay, common. Oh wow. Processes will usually affect this. So naturals and anaerobics and honeys and things like that, you know, the different length of finish is most often affected by the process. So washed usually is the shortest, naturals usually the longest, or anaerobics these days tend to be even longer than naturals. Natural anaerobics, definitely. Okay. There's no exception here. Number 3, I think I'll be tasting all day. Okay. Interesting. Right. Okay. So we can go on to flavor notes now. Boom. I've done half my tasting card. I've got the aromas, the mouthfeels, acidities, body. Just go with a general instinctive thing. Don't need to cross out your X's and move them too often or anything like that. And your overall star ratings, that comes at the end. And yeah, just remember to put your names on the tasting card as well, or your Instagram name. Just something that we can reference you with. And the Asia edition, August. Just basic information so we know who's doing what. Now flavor notes. Here we go. Here's the fun part. I want to find the most original flavor notes I can. Okay. Lot 61. I have to say, Lot 61's really suits this kind of brew method of no filter paper. It just gives it a lovely kind of shine.
So cafetiere would work then?
Probably, yeah. Lot 61, the most forgiving coffee. I don't often suggest that people brew coffees with cafetières, but yeah, I think it would work. Right, what's the weird flavor notes I'm getting in this one? Okay. Also the overall, remember you've got those 5 colors. That's not the most important thing, but I like to give it an overall. Definitely think the overall on that one's fruity. It'll help you as well, I think, by giving it an overall category. It'll help you see what if all the coffees were in the fruity category and they all had similar kind of body or acidity, then you'd start to really understand that the commonalities in Asia come from maybe being a bit fruity overall, or a bit this or a bit that. But the more data you put down and the more data points that are recorded, the more patterns begin to emerge. Okay. Come on guys, unusual flavor notes. Who's getting what? Can we see what people are saying?
2.
Oh no, sorry, number 1. Sorry, yes, still on number 1.
Are you not getting anything?
I want to hear other people's first.
Natalie says lemon. I agree.
Lemon. I'm getting, the unusual one for me is biscuits. Something like kind of shortbread biscuit. Is anyone else getting shortbread biscuit?
I thought I'm finding kind of wood, kind of whiskey.
About 40% I would say. Whiskey, wood.
Wood.
Crazy, really?
Jonathan says number 1 is quite earthy.
It is quite earthy, but is it not biscuity? Come on people, now you're seeing biscuits, right? What else? It is quite earthy, but there's good earthy and there's bad earthy. I think it's good earthy. Bad earthy for me is when it's gravelly kind of earth, like brown, muddy kind of soil earth. Good earthy is the sort of biscuity, warm kind of earthiness, I think. And that's what I'm getting. So beyond shortbread or biscuits, what else am I getting?
In filter brew, I tasted a lot of apples, but I don't taste it here.
But you do get it. It's kind of like unripe apples. That's what I'm getting this time. Like a kind of a tiny apple that you pick from a park that you shouldn't eat. It's not poison, but they don't taste of much. That's the kind of apple I'm tasting now. So we'll call it not to be eaten park apple. That's my flavor note.
Philip says I got smoky note. Meanwhile, citrus from number 1 reminds me of
Lapsang Souchong.
Souchong.
Nice. There you go. A Chinese tea for for an Asian themed origin edition. That's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pietro says grilled peach.
For number 1, are we talking about?
Yeah.
Number grilled peach. I like that a lot. That's a great flavor note. Who said that one?
Pietro.
Pietro, well done. Grilled peach. This is the kind of thinking I like, because if I find like my brain can go there, ooh, that's an interesting one, even though I didn't taste it, that's exciting and a great identification. And that's exactly what I'm talking about here. Why, you know, the roaster said tiramisu, but we're going to break it down and hopefully come up with something that represents it in a different way, but equally accurate.
Natalie said biscuit, yes, on
Yeah.
the back. Hobnob.
Hobnobs, exactly. There's something weirdly biscuity going on there. Right, number 2.
Jonathan said maybe as a Belgian have another definition of biscuity. So he's not agreeing with you.
Is this Jonathan Vandenbroek, who said he wouldn't be joining today, but is now joining? Excellent.
That was yesterday.
Oh, sorry.
And Philip says I got nougat-like flavor in number 1 as well.
Nougat, yeah, okay. Well done, Jonathan. Well done, all of you. Sorry, so that's really good. Common, I'm going to have to move on.
Number 2.
Okay. Oh, I spill a lot of coffee on mine. Right. Very, very mild, I have to say. This coffee it's not a session coffee, because when I brew it, I get incredible complexities. But they're just such easy drinking. I really didn't expect that with this coffee. So I think this is one of my favorites in terms of an everyday drink. Each one this month has provided me with a different reason to love it. And Commons I love for its kind of, not, like I said, not a session coffee, but a very, very mild, easy experience while still maintaining a lot of complexity. I'm very excited for the future of Chinese coffee. I really think we're going to see some mind-blowing stuff come from there one day. I mean, it's obviously a vast country, and the Yunnan region, and you know, they've got it ready. The country is ready to produce some really exciting coffees. So I'm really looking forward to that in the future.
Tasting.
Let's see. Very buttery, very mild, so tougher to identify. Maybe a good aerating slurp will help. It does help. Wow. And I'm going to get my flavor wheel. I think I'm tasting, it's like a raisin. Prune, no, cherry.
Yeah, a lot of cherry, I think.
I think it's cherry. It's
Dark
kind
cherry
of,
maybe, like American dark cherry.
I don't know if it's dark cherry, but it's cherry for me. So I'll put cherry. Again, this is what you do. If you can't go further, I could say dark cherry, but for me, I'm not getting that. So if she'd have said dark cherry, and I do agree, oh, my mind is going there, but it's not. So for me, I'm not confident about that. I'm somewhere between. So if I'm not sure about even cherry, I might say dried fruit. I'm going more general. Until I can be more specific, I've got to pull back.
You know Maribou?
Maribou.
The
Haribo.
Coconut alcohol.
Oh yeah, Maribou.
I taste some of that.
That's interesting. Even though it's not alcoholic, the non-alcohol part of Maribou.
Bit coconutty.
Come on, guys, what are you tasting in number 2? I'm struggling here. So I've got cherry.
Natalie, therefore, lychee.
What, number 2?
Yep.
Sorry, Natalie, I'm not tasting that. It's okay, there's no right or wrong. If that's what you taste, that's what you taste.
And pink grapefruit.
Pink grapefruit, yeah, all right. I mean, that's a pretty sharp acidity, but I'm just not getting that much acidity. It's sort of the lowest acidity coffee is this one. So I'm going to adjust that on my acidity-ometer. And pink grapefruit is just, it's too sharp an acidity for me to include that in here. For me, the type of acidity in this is, it's not apple, it's not pink grapefruit. It's a cherry acidity. If you get any acidity in cherries, that's what I'm getting.
Dog rolls, cranberries, and milk chocolate from Pietro.
Pietro, you're doing well here. Milk chocolate is really good. What else?
Dog rolls?
Dog rose. What's a dog rose? But that's really interesting.
And cranberries.
I'm very impressed, Pietro. That's another great set of flavor identifications. I agree with them. Say them again. Sorry.
Dog rolls, cranberries, milk chocolate.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Wow.
And
Okay.
Nana-san said when it was hot, it was grassy, but it's more silky and sweet right now.
Yeah, it was kind of weirdly grassy when hot. But don't worry, I mean, if you filter brew this, trust me, it's super delicious. So I think it's just, it's doing unusual things in this way of tasting it. But I still think it's a great coffee. And I think it's almost misrepresented here today because it did have more complexity and it did have more acidity. So strange that, but let's move on to coffee number 3. Here we go. Ah, there's the lychee for sure. I mean, you're probably all going to put lychee down, but I'd be curious to see how much you're tasting lychee. So your percentage of lychee is important here, because I'd like to just see if some people only get a little bit, or if, how you interpret that, you know. For me, it's that level. I'm not going to tell you, but if I read yours and say, wow, somebody really tasted lychee, but some people only a little bit, that in itself is very interesting. What else though? Come on, Slomov has all kinds of things. And again, brewing this coffee, don't really get the lychee. I get more that tiramisu unusualness, and at the beginning, herbs. So when you brew this coffee, expect herbal sensation followed by tiramisu sweetness. 2 parts, it's like a 2-part coffee, and this way though has made it quite different.
I don't agree with lychee number 3.
It's changing now. The lychee's gone now. Yeah,
Get
it's
more
cool.
floral, hibiscus kind of acidity mainly.
Really? I'm getting a kind of creme caramel. Maybe not. Maybe not. No, I've changed my mind about the creme caramel. That's a very
curd?
particular thing.
Lemon curd.
Lemon. Damn. Okay, Aiko may have to win the bag today. Lemon curd is a really good one. Lemon curd. I won't write it down though. I'll come up with my own. Okay. It's herbinated something. I'm going to get something great and you'll all taste it.
Natalie says number 3, 50% milk chocolate plus lychee syrup with a strawberry juice.
Strawberry juice is great. That's really good, Natalie. I agree with that. I'm not getting the milk chocolate though. Honestly, that's okay. Everybody with our taste buds are very unique, okay? So you are genuinely tasting that milk chocolate, that's fine. But I'm genuinely not. So very, very curious, very interesting. Come on guys, what else are you tasting?
And she says also masala wine.
Marsala wine. What is Marsala wine?
Pietro says muscat grape, apricot jam, dried cherry. Number 3.
No, that's really interesting. Those are quite strong notes. Apricot jam. Tell me again, Pietros.
Muscat grape, apricot jam, dried cherry.
I like the dried cherry and the muscat grapes. They're all great notes, actually. I'm very impressed, Pietro. Okay, let's move on. Next one.
Philip says
Oh, sorry, Philip.
plum, wild strawberry, banana, tiramisu.
Wow.
lychee.
Oh, banana could be a good one. Is
Banana-
something banana-ish in there? Maybe. Are you influenced by the fact the bag's yellow, maybe? No. Yeah. I think I'm going to allow that. I mean, not that I disallow flavors, but in terms of my mind stretching that far, yes, I can see it. Great one. Really great, Philip.
I like banana flavored ice cream kind of.
Yeah. These are very imaginative notes, guys. Keep writing them down. I look forward to actually seeing your cards as well. Can't remember everything I hear today, so reading your cards later and then sharing them with the community is going to be really exciting.
Also, masala wine is a sweet fortified wine.
Ah, sweet fortified wine. Thank you. Really, really good that. Yeah. Okay. Let's go on to number 4 now. Yeah, this one is Thailand. So just so you know, we've had 2 from Indonesia. The first one from the island of Sulawesi. That's a more northeast island, very big island. Then we've got common from Yunnan province, China, and in the southern part of Yunnan province, the southern part that borders other countries. I can't remember where it borders. Slow-mo. Then slow malt is from East Java. That's that long island that sits at the bottom of Indonesia, east side. And then finally, coffee number 4, Thailand. And perhaps it's all in the map on the events card. And yeah, very exciting. So I think Thailand, this is our first and only single origin from Thailand, right?
Yep.
So that in itself is super exciting. What am I tasting?
This one is different.
Probably the one that's the fullest. So for me, once you hit a more fuller kind of experience, it's harder to identify some of the more subtle background notes. I was picking them up in the filter more. It's gone a bit cold now, but what is everyone else tasting?
What are you tasting?
Cocoa.
But this one's got
Cardamom?
syrupy, yes, spice for sure.
Yeah, it's a very kind of low spice. I wouldn't call it a spice that's wild or very spicy. It's a kind of mild spice kick. So I would say it's a cocoa spice kick. Very interested to hear what you guys are tasting. Cardamom. I don't know how you spell cardamom. Is it cocoa?
Brown spice for me.
Brown spice. That's really good. Brown spice. Love that.
And this
Mild sort of
acidity-
cocoa-ish.
Acidity is
What are you guys tasting? We've got to wrap it up now. So let's just see what other people are tasting and we'll wrap up. Excellent.
nutmeg.
Nutmeg. Brilliant. Who said that?
Natalie.
Natalie. Excellent.
Jonathan hazelnut.
Hazelnuts. Yeah, I said cocoa, but I think you're probably more accurate with hazelnuts because it just wasn't very cocoa, but I felt like it was something like cocoa.
Pietro.
Yes, Pietro.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Dry fig.
Very
caramel,
good.
Caramel.
Caramel.
Virginia tobacco.
Virginia tobacco.
Muscovite sugar.
Muscat sugar. Is this like that Muscovite grape, or was it Muscat grape or something?
That's different.
Different. Just a coincidence. They sound similar. Okay. No, that's really good. Again, tell me Pietros once again. I want to see it.
Dry figs.
Dry figs.
Caramel. Virginia tobacco. Muscovite sugar.
I love it. That is a great combination of things. You see, I was breaking it down and trying to find one particular thing individually. Couldn't find it. But Pietro has sort of done a kind of a mathematical equational thing where he's found a way to arrive at an unusual note via 2 other notes or 3 other notes maybe. Not sure, but I find that very interesting. That's a really good breakdown. Really good.
Philip says I got hazelnut and herbal when it was warm, but it got changed a lot.
Agreed. Yeah, really, really good. You guys have trained up really well. Really, really impressed. Great cupping session today, guys. Asian origins. I can see similarities. I feel it. I feel a lot of the similarities going on, but I can also see a lot of differences. Really, really exciting. Thank you so much for that.
How would you say Asian origins? What's the similarities?
Okay, for me, to reflect on Asian origins, right now, I would say you get maybe low acidity, generally a bit lower acidity. You can get apple tartness and you can get quite, but those sort of very berry, sharp, crisp acidities, not seeing so much of that. Tea-likeness you can get prominently in a lot of Asian coffees, though not all. That I'm not too sure, but what do you think are the similarities?
It has the acidity is so similar.
Yeah, it's not, should I just say that it's not the level of acidity, it's more the type of acidity. I've learned recently that you can label like the different types of acidity. You can have citric acid, you can have malic acid, you can have different types of acidity, and I feel like they are very similar types of acidity, yes.
And then at the background, there's always like spice or earthiness
Earthiness is a commonality, but although that's more Indonesia, what they're trying to avoid in specialty coffee, because I think it's, I forget which island it comes from, but there are parts of Indonesia that are known for doing their very earthy coffees. And we thankfully have avoided picking anything like that here for the taster set. We wanted to give you a much more diverse and premium specialty coffee experience. So there are a lot of kind of mid-level specialty coffees coming from parts of Asia that will taste even more similar, just because then they have these traits of being quite earthy. So we have avoided that to some degree, but of course it's unavoidable because you're tasting terroir, and there is that.
And I would say all of them are quite dry mouthfeel.
Interesting, yeah, good point. Well said. Now, is it because you're Asian that you are more connected with that, Aiko? Right. Well, we'll wrap up, guys. Do we make any other announcements? Or do we announce who's getting the bag now, or no?
We will wait for the tasting cards.
We'll receive your tasting cards and then we'll make a special announcement about the winner of this bag. Thank you for your contributions today. Just do that last part by uploading your tasting card to us. And if you want, in the Coffee Club Lounge, a photo of you and your setup, just saying, had a great time or whatever, just showing us you, because you've seen me and you've seen our layout, but I really enjoy seeing your layout and the experience that you had with your cupping table, and everybody just enjoys sharing those sort of things. So please do that in the Coffee Club Lounge. You don't have to, but I'd love it if you could just share a photo of you today enjoying your cupping experience. It'll bring me closer to you, you closer to us, everybody closer together, and yeah.
So do you want the name or the top of the card?
So the name, I've said this earlier today, but yeah, put your name or your handle on the top, and that it's Asia edition, so we know it's Asia, and that's it.
And then tag the category as tasting cards so we can find it.
Tag the category. Oh, in the Coffee Club Lounge. Yes, in the Coffee Club Lounge you can add topics. So just put tasting card as one of the topics. I think if you just put TA, it'll auto-complete the rest. Just find tasting card as the group. It's a subgroup. And that's the whole point of the Coffee Club Lounge, is that you can instantly find conversations via topics. Something you can't do on Instagram or Facebook or anything is to literally be able to dial in specific conversations. So if you had slow mo, or if you, in a few weeks, if you want to drink slow mo, or if you want a recipe from the Asia edition, you'll be able to search Asia edition on the Coffee Club Lounge, and all the conversations to do with Asia edition will be filtered out. Or tasting card or mystery orange bag. If you've got a mystery orange bag, the Coffee Club Lounge is the best place to immediately find the conversations to do with that. So yeah, your tasting cards will be a particular subgroup in the Coffee Club Lounge.
Jonathan's favorite was number 2. Natalie was into number 3.
Ah, we're picking favorites now. Okay.
Throw number 3 as well.
Number 3 for a lot of people. Number 2 for a lot of people. Today, personally, I enjoyed number 1 the most. So there's the strange one. I do love all of them. I loved 4 more than I expected today. I loved 3 less than I expected. I enjoyed 3 the most, I think, outside of today's experience. But literally, number 1, for some reason, became this really fascinating coffee, brewing it this way. And yeah, that's just my take. But thanks, guys, for joining. It's time to announce next month's edition. Are you ready? Okay. So like I said yesterday to the Zoom workshop people, the clue I gave about next month's edition is there will not be any coffee from any UK roasters next month. All 4 coffees will come from outside the UK. That was the clue. Now why? Why would there be? It's because the theme is focusing on somewhere specific. We're going back to an area, and the announcement is the edition is called Scandi, which is short for Scandinavia, and it means we're doing 4 coffees from Scandinavia. Not as origin, obviously no coffees grow in Scandinavia, but these are 4 roasters based in Scandinavia. Now those countries are Iceland, Sweden, Norway. It is. Scandinavia is Iceland, Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Denmark. And the Faroe Islands, officially. So we've got 4 different countries Won't tell you which. Just saying that we have 4 Scandinavian countries in our set, and it's going to be an amazing edition. We're going to be working with roasters we're very excited to work with. Some we've never worked with before, some that we have, again, a good rich history with. So we'll be able to bring you a lot more in the Coffee Club each month, as we usually do, above and beyond. Because of the work that we do, the films and the extras, you're going to get a lot of in-depth analysis on what makes this region, Scandinavia, special. Because as we know, Scandinavia are massively important when it comes to specialty coffee. Scandinavia, I think, have been, as a region, probably the most responsible for pulling specialty coffee into the light roast. So, as you know, my motto is light roast is the right roast. Well, Scandinavia, their motto probably is lightest roast is the rightest roast. So we'll be definitely having a lot of fun exploring this unique and special region of Scandinavia. Scandi is September's edition. So thanks again for joining today, guys. That's it. Got to wrap up. And one lucky winner of the bag. Stay tuned. You've got to submit your card to be in a chance to win that bag. And the mystery orange bag, people. If anybody out there hasn't done the mystery orange bag game this month but received one, please hurry and get it into the lounge, or DM us if you're stuck. I'll be doing a video specifically on the mystery orange bag in the next couple of days, and I'd love it if people could join me with their mystery orange bags, and we'll play that together live on Instagram. So that's coming in a couple of days. Thanks for joining again today. See you all very soon. Scandi edition coming next.